Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my Facebook live stream. My name is Cheng. I'm a professional photographer, filmmaker, and an Olympus ambassador. But yes, today is a little bit different because, if you're new to this live stream, I usually cover everything to do with photography, filmmaking, Olympus, Micro Four Thirds stuff. But as of this week, I have a brand new schedule because I want to broaden the scope of contents that I'm creating. So it's going to be fun. Hopefully that I will be able to show you more than just cameras and lenses and things. They're still here. So if you don't know what the schedule is, I'm going to repost it later on today on my Facebook timeline, so you will be able to see exactly what I'll be covering each and every single day. So it's going to be fun. And today, though, it's all about tech, right? And but tech obviously involving a lot of different things. It could be photography accessories. It could be just general tech that you may like to acquire at some stage. You know, people's birthday, and guys and women, and I know that you guys are probably love gadgets as well. So let's see what we're gonna have, because I do have a lot of stuff here. People do send me stuff to have a look at every now and then, and because a lot of the stuff that is just not quite relating to my normal photography work that I do, so it's unlikely I will be able to show you guys. But this is different now because I'm opening up this big window on Facebook, and hopefully I will be able to show you these gadgets and electronics that I don't normally show in my YouTube channel, and this is the opportunity, and I'm quite excited because some of them are actually pretty genuinely interesting. So let's say hi to some people first. And good morning, Buran. Oh wow, you are the first one here. Excellent. And Ian, good morning, buddy. And Robin and Theo, hello there. Oh, from Netherlands, hello there. I've been to Netherlands, beautiful place. Right. Okay, just tell you a little bit about my setup today, and I do have a few items to show you guys. What I will try to use this opportunity is to not only show you some of the gadgets that I have here, but also kind of give you a preview of the stuff that I will be reviewing in the near future in my own personal channel. This will be completely separate to Red 35, so just to give you a heads up, this is what I'm doing. Red 35 obviously is still going to be very photography and filmmaking relating to everything that I do professionally. Of course, it's also going to be Micro Four Thirds and Olympus heavy. So if you guys are pure fan, that's the place to be. But if you are more than just that, if you are just like a general day-to-day guy, and woman, and you just simply into technology and things like that, my personal channel will be more like a lifestyle stuff. So you'll be able to follow me there to cover everything that possibly new. And exciting, right? I'm excited. Okay, so I do have a wireless setup today because quite a few of you guys are actually quite interested in my streaming setup. I've been asked so many times how I do this, what camera do I use, what sort of a connection that I do, and also in particular, it's my wireless system. Yes, and I know Ralph is a big fan of the wireless thing. He actually acquired the entire kit that I use. So I'll just quickly show you exactly what I mean, yeah? And this is one of them. And so you can see that, and I have the wireless transmitter here set up and hook up to my camera. That would mean that I will be able to stream all the footage that is being captured via in this camera to what you're seeing right now. If I switch over to my second cam, so you can see that this is exactly what you're seeing now. And everything is through wireless. You can see that it's crystal clear. And these are some of the product I'm going to show you in a minute. And you can see that it's really great, and it's something that I'm quite genuinely interested in using this particular system to showcase not only my work, but also like some of the stuff that I do. Oh, let me just hook up back to my tripod. Just one second. Hopefully I will be able to get it done. Oh, there we go. Got it. So sorry about that, and just to make sure that my camera is back into the tripod securely before it drops down onto the floor. So this is the wireless setup I have, and what this wireless system usually used for is for filmmakers and also for directors in a film set. So when you have a cameraman there, doing all the movement and things like that, you want to decline, and also the director will be able to see the screen exactly what the cameraman is doing, because unlike let's say self-employed filmmakers or kind of like a single man, one man, a filmmaker, a lot of the stuff you are just holding an operating camera. You can see the back of the screen very easily. But when you're in a film set, you've probably seen a lot of the behind the scenes stuff in Hollywood movie and DVD and stuff like. We see all this behind the scene thing. You always see the director kind of like sitting back, crossing their arms and looking at a giant screen. And this is exactly the system they're using. So like the director would get like the first look of what the camera is capturing, so they can sort of visualize whether they actually like that angle or not. So they will be able to feed that back to the cameraman to to improve the shot subsequently if they need it. So it's a very important system for that particular thing. But in now we have in the technological world that everything is through HDMI and streaming things like that. So there's nothing to stop me from using this system for streaming. And the good thing about this particular system is that it's relatively cheap compared to some of the high-end Hollywood sets that a lot of the production house use, because they are usually cost about like few thousand to tens of thousands of pounds, because they are definitely more secure and more reliable and supporting higher streaming bandwidth, such as 4K streaming. These systems are used at only 1080 maximum, but this is actually pretty cool. I think it's more than enough for what I do anyway, and that will also mean that this will free me up completely from my usual wide setup. So I will be able to take the camera out to the garden and starting to show you freely without having any wire attached to the system. So this is absolutely stunning. If you want to know more information about that, I'm going to do another particular dedicated video or live stream just to talk about the system and tell you how it works, and you can see exactly how the setup is and things like that. So if you like that, leave me a comment down below, so I will be able to show you this wireless system separately. So it's awesome. It's really, really awesome. Oh, Ralph, you're here. Ralph is obviously a regular here, and also he purchased the Mars 400S, which is the wireless system that I just told you about. That's really, really cool. Good morning, Calvin. So let's get crack on with some of the stuff that I want to show you today. So first of all, the first gadget is, I have a few choices here. I have no idea which one I want to show you first. Let's talk a little bit about headphones, right? You can see that I'm actually wearing something different today, because I want to show you the one that I'm using normally, which is this one here, this guy here. Because I remember there were a couple of messages before asking me what sort of headphone I was using, and it's actually the Apple AirPod Pro. So this is obviously the wireless earbuds that quite known now. Everybody seems to know what they are, and so they are very, very good. There's active noise cancellations and stuff like that. I do generally like to use this more than the original AirPod I had, because it's got no isolations there. You can hear all the ambience and things. I always like active noise cancellation, only because I can hear the music better, and that means I don't have to scream when people talk to me. So that is quite good with that. And you can also switch on and off, of course, just by pressing the one of the stalks and the earbuds. But a lot of people may not want to spend that sort of money, though. This is quite expensive. This is about £250 or something, 230, I think. And so it's expensive. It's good, but it's expensive. But if people are looking for something maybe, relatively capable, let's say teenagers, and also looking for more budget versions that they can throw around, let's say go to the gym. If you don't want to lose £230 of earbud in the gym, you want something that is affordable and it doesn't really hurt your bank while it's still relatively capable. And this is the one that I want to show you. So let me show you exactly what it is. And this is the Edifier. So I'm going to try to show you that. So that's the box. It's really pretty cool though. I mean, it does support Qualcomm aptX, which is on the side here. So it's actually relatively affordable, these things, and doesn't really cost a lot of money, but it's kind of works almost the same way as the. Let me just put it in front of the camera here. So it almost works exactly like the AirPod, which I show you this case side by side now, so you can see that. Them side by side, they're about the same size, and if we open them up, and unfortunately the AirPod doesn't really stand well, so like this, if I open it up, so this is what it looks like. So for both of them, and so you can see in terms of physical size, they are around about the same thing. And if you take one of them out, actually let's take both of them out, so you can see the earbud itself. There we go. So these are the actual earbuds, yeah. So in terms of size and weight, they are almost identical. There's no difference there. When you wear them, it's very, very similar in terms of comfort level. But I would say that the overall feel and the Apple obviously is more premium, so you do feel a little bit better in comparison. And just going to hold it in front of the camera now. So like you can see that they are quite tiny. You can put it in your ear very comfortably. Like I mentioned though, this one, the Apple AirPod Pro does have active noise cancelling, while the Edifier doesn't have any sort of noise cancellation whatsoever. It's basically noise isolation. So depending on the ear tip that you want to suck into your, your ear hole. I used the wrong term there. Right, okay. Anyway, so it's depending on the silicon tip, yeah? So if you have to choose the right size, make sure it's comfortable, secure. Once you have the right tip on, it does give you 3 sizes there, small, medium, and large. Once you selected the right size, put it in your ear, it does do a good job of isolating outside noises, so you still be able to hear very decent audio. In terms of audio quality, of course, when you're buying an earbud, you probably think that what sort of sound quality like, right? You have to make sure that you are paying the money, you want to get some decent stuff. And I would say that for the price, and actually pretty impressed with what it is. It doesn't have the same bass as the AirPod Pro or some of the premium earbuds, but look, this is a budget earphone, and it's a wireless option as well, so it actually does his job fairly well. With the isolations, if you sealed up the actual ambience better with this correct silicon tip, you do get some decent bass in it. But I have to say that the actual midtones are very clear. I like the treble. The trebles are actually pretty good. Yeah, Ralph has actually searched the price already, $40. So it is actually very, very budget friendly, and I would say for people who really doesn't want to break the bank, and for instance, for some active exercise, if you want to wear out just for a run, because I can tell you that I did drop one of these 230-pound AirPod Pro on the street when I was just running to the bus stop. Yeah, I did drop one of them, and I have to say that I was a little bit heartbroken. I thought I destroyed it, but lucky it wasn't just a couple of scratches there. But imagine that, yeah. But if it's a $40 earbud, I wouldn't worry too much about it, to be quite honest. And so like it's something that if you are into a very active lifestyle and you just want to have a pair that will get your music going, you're going to continue listening to music and answering your call. Yeah, it does the same job, and all the wireless earbuds out there, you can answer calls as well. So this is actually a pretty decent option, I would say. And it does come with, I think, a couple of different colors, and I have the white version here, but I did try the sound quality. It's not too bad for the price range. And like I mentioned, it really can't compete in terms of the bass frequencies and the ultimate treble in a higher frequency. It cannot really compete with the more expensive or more premium versions of the earbuds out there on the market. But generally speaking, it's quite a decent pair of a budget earbud, and especially it's wireless. And I do think that the charging case is actually pretty good. It's slightly bigger and thicker. If I just hold it in front of the thing, it's slightly thicker, and you can see there. In terms of that's just a footprint, it's about the same, but it is thicker. It doesn't also have the same weight as well compared to the Apple version, and this definitely feels a lot lighter. But it does allow you to obviously charge the earbud very nicely, and it does give you extra hours of listening if you really want to. But it's perfect for gymming. Hopefully the gym will be open soon because I want to get back to it. So this will be perfect for that, and you don't really want to damage your fairly expensive one. Even though they advertising for you to go on, for run and things like that, I don't think it is actually would be my choice of wearing a 230-pound earbud while it's not really secure fit. No matter how they say, if I do something or people just knock on me, it would just fall out, and but obviously it's personal. Okay, right, so this is the Edifier, and I really want to show you, and because I think it's a pretty genuinely cool thing. And let me just stop down a little bit because it's quite bright here now. And once again, just show you once again how it looks like inside, and I think it's a pretty decent pair of budget wireless earphone. And connection is Bluetooth, and of course, and straightforward stuff. If you don't know about Bluetooth headphone, whether it's going to be earbud or overhead headphone, it's the same thing. So next thing I want to show you guys is Camera bag. Right, okay. I've got something here to show you. I already done the review of this bag. If you haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube, Red35. The link is in the description. This is the Sling Bag Pro, and by one of my friends who launched this via Kickstarter. Is actually pretty well made bag. The reason I want to show you this is because I've been using this quite regularly in the last couple of weeks. I think it's actually a pretty good size to just go out for a stroll with my family, and I could put stuff in it, you know, like it's just, because like I use Micro Four Thirds cameras, yeah, so they're quite small generally, so I will be able to stuff about like one body with a lens attached and a couple of more small lenses. So I will be able to go out for a walk. If not, I will be able to hold other things like water bottles and other things, and it's actually quite good. And it's very tough. That bag is really, really tough, yeah. And I urge you to, if you're interested in that sort of bag, yeah, and just go and check out my video on YouTube. I did make a proper review on it. I talk about the material they use, because it's the material that sets it apart, yeah, not the design. The design is like a lot of the sling bags out there now. You know, there are definitely a lot of options that you can choose. But in terms of material that they use to construct the bag, this is something different, and I can tell you that it's so solid and so rugged. You know, if you are a person who like to go outside a lot, and especially in the rain, this thing is cool because it's completely waterproof there, and you don't have to worry about abrasion, because the actual fabric, which is developed by a German company here, and is really, really tough. They have two colors, the white or the black. I mean, I have both of them in the review, but I use the white one because it's just like nicer to look at, I think. You know, it's just more catchy, right? But it's good, and the size is actually pretty decent, and it's very versatile. You can use it as a sling or as a shoulder bag. The actual strap for the sling bag can also be used as a camera strap, so it's quite interesting design that they Chris did, and the designer. So very interesting stuff. No, enough of the back. Let's go to the gimbal stuff. Right. Okay. I know what you're going to think about, because I always talked about, you know, Micro Four Thirds stuff. If you want to be very serious on both photography and filmmaking, you really want a proper camera, right? But at the same time, you know, like I also said, creativities and photography filmmaking has no boundary. I mean, I don't really care what system you use, where medium format, Micro Four Thirds, APS-C. I said that, right? You all remember I actually said about this. And I also said I do use my iPhone to film a lot. So this is what I'm going to talk about now. And in fact, you know, the beginning of this stream today, the little intro video that I made for my trip to New York last year, it was partly filmed with the iPhone that I was holding at the time, with the gimbal, of course, and so the others would be the Micro Four Thirds, my EM1 Mark II at the time. So I have the combination of cameras to create that intro video. So I do use iPhone stuff every now and then, and I think it's actually a very good and portable system, simply because you always have your phone with you. To a lot of, let's say, mum and dad or beginner creatives who just want to get into you know, the creative process by using also like visual contents creation, such as the cameras and video functions, and you know, there's nothing better than something you already have, which is a smartphone, right? You know, you don't have to reinvest a brand new system, and only when you get to a point that you really want to produce something that has commercial values, maybe you want to work for clients, where you want to start to increase your production value to be more presentable to other more premium clients, I would say, that you may want to invest into a proper camera system. But when you're starting out, I actually think a smartphone is really good, and that's also one of the reasons why it's eating out all the point and shoot market that originally the bread and butter for all the camera manufacturers. But it is what it is, and this is really you know, appeal to a lot of the younger generations, especially you know, just normal people who just like to have a few snaps and few video clips. But also at the same time, this is what also drives the creatives improving these days, and also getting them into the market. And these are also the people eventually will take up proper cameras. So I wouldn't discount them as an enemy, so to speak, to the camera market, because we need these people to get into the market first. And if they find out that the deficiency of using a smartphone, they will buy a proper camera eventually. But let's talk a little bit about what I want to show you though. Well, there are two things I want to show you. First of all is this. This is the Zhiyun Smooth X. And there's a really weird name though, so it's X. So because another thing that I'm going to show you is also called an X here. So this is actually a genuinely really interesting thing, yeah. So this is the size of it. And remember when you're first holding the gimbal 2-3 years ago, the mobile gimbal I'm talking about, DJI was the first one to introduce mobile gimbal about 4 years ago now, I think that was 3.5 years ago. The original was really massive and chunky, but it's still small compared to a proper camera gimbal. But it's, you know, it's still big compared to 2020, and this year is really something because last year 2019 people were doing foldable gimbals and things like that everywhere. You know, DJI launched their DJI Mobile 3, and they have Zhiyun also launched their own Smooth Q. All the other gimbal companies shrinking the size of the electronic gimbal for smartphone, and this year it's gone even smaller. So this is their latest one from Zhiyun, and it's actually pretty cool because I want to show you this now. So, and this is it. This is a tiny thing, and but I want to show you that this is not a traditional gimbal. It's not a 3-axis gimbal. What that means is it only does the rotation, so it doesn't do the tilt. I wouldn't say a full-blown gimbal, but it does stabilize your footage if you want to do some walk and talk a little bit. So it's not really something that I would call it the proper filming option. It might be okay for, let's say, TikTok or Instagram and kind of thing, because it does allow you to rotate vertically. But I think the killer application is that it does extend like a selfie stick here. It's actually quite useful for family people. You know what? I took this to fruit picking a couple of weeks ago with my family, and I took this with me. And I actually really like to use it because you know how often you go outside, and you know, as a creative myself, yeah, I want to take some B-rolls. Maybe I will be able to use for my future vlogs and things like that. So I just want to film something stable. At the same time, you may want to, because you're with your family, you want to take some selfie with your family, you know, the kids are playing, you know, and this is actually comes in really handy because you can, first of all, you can do a group family photo. You know, there is all the remote here that allows you to remotely control the actual application in the phone itself, whether it's going to be a built-in camera app or via the Zhiyun own gimbal app, so you can actually control both recording videos and also photos. So it's actually decent. You can use it as a premium selfie stick, but also it's quite good. It's because it's so extendable. Yeah, I will be able to like kind of like I would say sneak through, you know, some gaps here to see what my kids were doing when they were doing fruit picking. So it's actually that allows me to go into really tricky angles. I quite like using this kind of weird invention, but it's actually pretty weird, and it's very cheap. This thing's about $50-60, I think, and it's not that expensive at all. It's decent, and it comes with a stand as well. So if you want it to be even longer, all you need to do is just to screw on the provided tripod, mini tripod, table tripod, so you can actually stand it on the surface if you really want. But I like to use it as an extension for the thing, so it can make the selfie stick even longer. It's cool. I actually personally like it, and I would think that this would probably appeal to more normal people who usually would buy a selfie stick. Think about it, if you buy let's say a slightly more premium version selfie stick, yeah, not talk about like really cheaper ones, you probably spend about £20 anyway. And this may be double the price, but just slightly more than double, but it does give you a lot more than just a selfie stick, because it's stabilizing your thing in one axis at least, and it does all kinds of tricks. It folds down to really small. It does extend. It stands on the surface. It's actually pretty cool. I actually think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to do a review on this, of course. If you have to stay tuned for my full reviews on this particular gimbal, because I think it's worth reviewing it, and I do find that it's a very interesting thing. And the next gimbal is, oh, good morning, Trevor. You're not late. It's all right, I'm still talking. It's this. This just arrived yesterday. Yesterday, yes. And they just announced it today. So this is the latest Mozart Mini MX, and if you go and Google around, there are probably about 3 or 4 videos out already talking about this. So I am probably the first one to do a live review of the latest mini gimbal from Mozart. So Obviously, they are all gunning for the same customers, the mobile users, trying to achieve some stable footage. It's pretty much like what Zhiyun does or DJI, but they are very different product. And if I tell you, well, like I said, this is more like a very premium version of a selfie stick. But I think it's really cool for what it's targeting for. You know, all these mum and dads, family guys, people who just like to party. You know, and this is more for filmmakers, beginner filmmakers. And not only is this cheap, and this thing is only $89, I think. But it's different to other folding gimbals that I reviewed last year. I mean, I did review the Benro version. This is basically exactly the same as the DJI Mobile 3. It's like a clone between the two. And I reviewed the Zhiyun Smooth Q as well. And this is very different by means of, let me just unscrew the actual tabletop tripod thing first. So this is the size of it. So let me just fold the other thing back, and as you can see, you can compare the size of between the two. So you can kind of have a look at what you might think about the. Oops, sorry, that I need to. I'm always finding it a bit difficult trying to push it back. Right. Okay. So this is the size. Let me take out all the tabletop tripod because you can compare the sizes side by side now. So they're all very portable and small. And I would say the Smooth Q is definitely a lot smaller compared to the Mozart Mini MX. So this is it. So you can see the side by side. The Mozart, in terms of footprint, the Mozart MX is almost twice as big as this. So this is the very tiny compared to any gimbal I've seen before. So this is selfie stick, yeah? This is the Zhiyun Smooth X. The Mozart MX is more like a traditional folding gimbal. When I say traditional, it's not quite traditional because the way it folds, yeah? And I'm still trying to work it out because I only just opened the box this morning, and so it's, you have to kind of rotate it and then trying to turn it around, and there we go. So this unlocking mechanism. So this is the gimbal itself. So it's quite tiny, and it's got a little bit weight to it because it has a battery that can last 24 hours, and I mean it, 24 hours. So it's quite a long battery life for these things. But what I find it interesting is that where you actually attach these tripod thing, because usually for all the folding gimbal you attach the tabletop tripod at the bottom of the handle, yeah, so that you just kind of like elevate it to quite a decent height. But this doesn't. It actually go onto one of the back of the motor itself. So you try to attach it here. It almost like reminds me of the Zhiyun Weberlap, which allows you to like holding like doing undersling options here. It's actually, I do like this because this is how I use the Zhiyun gimbal for bigger setup. So this is actually pretty cool, and it does give you a little bit of a slightly more balanced feel when you put it on a surface, because you can actually have the control tilted towards the user. Usually you'll be at quite a low angle anyway, so you can able to control all the modals and the actual joystick itself to control the angles and stuff. So it's actually pretty interesting. I haven't tested the apps and everything yet, so I don't know exactly how well it performs, but I'm going to do that later on, and to see how it compares to other electronic gimbals I've used before. Like I also mentioned in some of the previous review that I've done for any mobile gimbal, is the app. The app plays a big part of any gimbal designs, because no matter how well engineered the gimbal is, the app makes a big difference now, because that's almost like the only window you can explore the functionalities and features of the gimbal itself is via the app that the manufacturers design. So you have to install the app to your smartphone, you communicate it via Bluetooth, and that's how everything works. So if the app is poorly designed, like the one that I tested last year with Benro, and then the gimbal that they have, the gimbal was actually okay, but the app was, I think the app was really lagging, you know, and then the auto tracking feature didn't really work that well, and there was a lot of limitation in terms of actual setting for photography and filmmaking, like shutter speed, ISO. You can't really set a lot of stuff. You can't do focus lock, for instance. So there's a lot of things that I didn't quite like is the app. So hopefully the Mozart app is good. I haven't tested yet, haven't even downloaded the app yet, so I just literally opened the box this morning, so I will be able to show you what it looks like. Because the embargo is off now, so I can show you this, because I got it yesterday. I could have posted a couple of pictures out, but then they didn't announce it until this morning. So now it is public, so I can show you exactly what it looks like. So hopefully they will perform as good as all the other famous gimbals out there, and I will be able to do some B-rolls. I will be sure to show you maybe next week. I will try and take some footage, and I will show you that next week, and you can see how this guy actually performs. So you have to stay tuned for my review, of course, for the whole thing. And oh, Travis seems to like the stuff, the Mozart stuff. Oh, you watched the review already. They seem to have some good software and allows all 3 cameras on the iPhone 11 Pro at the same time. And I would like to know how it compares to the DJI Mobile 3. Right. Funny you mentioned about the DJI Mobile 3, yeah? Because one thing about folding gimbal is the actual the motor design. I personally don't like the let me just do it now. So how it does it? Okay, right. You know, like all of the smartphones that we have these, they have the ultra wide angle lens, right? And that's a problem when you want to put it on a gimbal, because the traditional gimbal design, you have the roll and tilt axis motor right at the back here and here. So these two position here, and it sticks kind of like vertically behind the camera. So you will see the motor housing if you use ultra wide lens. So in order to avoid it, they have to change the design completely by using a more flatter design. Everything can see it here, and that's potentially cause a problem, and that applies to all folding gimbals now. Is that you cannot do certain motion, and when you do like traditional gimbal movement, so you have to kind of adjust to it, and I don't quite like it. Last year when I reviewed any folding gimbals, I thought that would be the limitation, because I have to re-educate myself. And I use bigger gimbal for my normal OMD cameras on bigger gimbal stuff. I'm so used to the more fluid motion when I do filming, and this completely going the opposite way. It's very awkward to use. So, but like I said, I haven't tested this yet. I don't know how it compares with DJI Mobile 3, but I didn't like DJI Mobile 3, to be quite honest. Compared to DJI Mobile 2 and original mobile, yeah, they are much better. Just this again, it's personal, but you may be able to readjust yourself to use the new way of stabilizing. But it's actually quite well made, I have to say, for $89. And I can see that the price point is definitely dropping for mobile gimbal, and I can see that a lot more affordable product is going to hit the market very soon. I don't know, these are the latest stuff. DJI probably going to thinking about DJI Mobile 4 now, and you may be able to see that in the coming weeks, maybe even faster. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on that. So DJI might release a DJI Mobile 4 very quickly to counter all the latest invention from other manufacturers. So it's going to be a very competitive market. So I'm just highlighting a few options here, but they all kind of looking at the same market, and apart from Zhiyun. And these things I think is pretty darn interesting. Yeah, like I said, it's a pretty cool selfie stick, and my wife like it because she always like to take selfie with the family, and having an extendable, stabilized selfie stick, yeah, is actually pretty interesting. It does the job pretty well for stabilizing. And like I said, you only have one axis though, so yeah, and unfortunately it doesn't have bow. But that's why it's so much slimmer, because you don't have to have all the 3 motors here. You only have it has 2 motors: the rotation mode, the actual rotational motor, and also the they are both rotational. One is x-axis, one is y-axis. So they just don't have the z-axis or z-axis. So there you go. But it's slim, small, and very light. I do like this guy here. So you have to wait for my review to see what the Mozart MX is, how it performs, and stay tuned for that. So I don't know how many of you actually use mobile gimbal though, and I personally do use them. When I do go out, even when I have my proper cameras, I usually will have a mini one with me, just in case if I need to somehow get some footage as a B-roll, like when I'm doing a vlog, for instance. I just need something, maybe a very low angle shot. Instead of like setting up big gimbals for my normal cameras, I'll just simply slap my phone on and put it on the gimbal and do some general movement shots and things like that, and it's very effective. And in fact, a lot of the later generations of premium smartphone, they have very decent camera that can do pretty decent jobs in good light. I still say that they're very poor at lower light. You say very noisy and things like that, but in general they are pretty good now. Even in like today's overcast days, yeah, it's still pretty okay because it can shoot 4K. It can shoot 4K 60. It does even more than my EM1X, to be honest. And so it's okay. I mean, I think it's something that you can kind of supplement other systems that you have and to create something pretty fun to watch. So, okay, and $100. And Ralph, which one $100 is? Are you talking about the Moza and the MX? I think it's $89 from what I heard. I haven't actually got everything in front of me, the details of it. I just opened the damn box for what it is. Oh, just one more thing I want to show you before I go is that this, right? I did show you about the wireless system, right? It's this little L bracket here. This is the three-legged thing. L bracket is actually pretty cool if you do use your camera on tripods, because it's a very versatile bracket. It's very well made. It's adjustable. Yes, it's adjustable. So like you don't have to worry about how large your camera is and things like that. This thing extended, it's extendable. Yeah, you can see the actual thread there, and very well made here. Is obviously you can see the Acca compatible for both horizontal and vertical position, so you don't have to move your tripod head. You simply just take it out and slot it in. You got a 90-degree rotation straight away. That's pretty darn easy. So these things exist a lot, I mean, when I say exist a lot, I mean all the manufacturer does sort of L brackets anyway, but I think the difference is that it's adjustable. And it's actually pretty good for Micro Four Third. That's why I have one here, and it doesn't block the battery compartment of my EM1 Mark III here. And from what I saw, the compatibility chart, it's compatible with all the Olympus cameras apart from the EPL series and the EM10 series, because it will block the battery door. So that unfortunately, it doesn't quite clear that. But for any other cameras like the EM5, the EM1, EM1X, is perfectly okay. So you can actually adjust the actual width itself to fit the whole thing quite nicely, and it kind of protects my HDMI cable here. That's why I have it here. It's actually pretty good. And oops, let me just and by the way, three-legged thing is British, so if you fancy some British taste in your equipment collection, so we have some British invention here. So you can go to 3lt.com. I think that's a three-legged thing. They do make other things like tripods and stuff, so you can have browse through what they have. They have some really kind of weird naming conventions on all the products. I mean, unlike most companies that I work with, like Manfrotto, Jitso, Benro, they have numbers usually. They have like 190C, 190MF, the Jitso would have, I don't know, all this weird number 3740. They have numbers, yeah. And three-legged things have names for each product. And this little bracket is called Ellie. Yeah, like a girl, Ellie. Yeah, they have names for every single thing. Kind of weird, but anyway, so it's actually pretty interesting company. I mean, I do find that design also very interesting. I mean, unlike the traditional stuff, like I do have one here. I haven't showed you. This is my tripod. This is the Jitso travel tripod. Very sturdy, very freaking expensive. This is one of my own collections, so they didn't send it to me. I wish they did, because it cost me a freaking arm to buy this thing. And but it's a very good tripod, but I'll tell you more about it maybe next week. And it's good. It's good stuff. And I also have other boxes came in yesterday, so I can't wait to show you a lot of the stuff. But obviously I'll run out of time. If I show you everything, then I have nothing to talk about next week. So you just have to stay tuned for that. And so, Ralph is saying that it's Moza. Is Moza $100? I'm pretty sure it's $89. I have to double check that, but if I might be wrong, maybe £89. That's probably $100. So correct me if I'm wrong. So don't quote me on that. Like I said, I only just opened the bloody box. I have no information about everything about pricing and things like that. I will find out. Ralph also say who makes the L bracket is a three-legged thing, and let me just type it out so you can see what it is. Three-legged thing. I don't know if it's with an S or without an S, but you can just Google it. So this is the company. It's called Three-Legged Things, and I think the website is 3lt.com, and let me see. So this may be the actual website. I'm trying to get it done here, and let's see if it is. Oh, let me just get rid of that. 3lt. Oh no, it's actually 3leggedthing.com. Sorry about that. Let me just correct myself. So let me just correct this. So it's 3leggedthing.com. So no S. It's 3-legged thing. 3leggedthing.com. So that's the company who makes the L bracket, and they, like I said, they do make all kinds of tripods there. And it's weird design, also weird color, and more weird is the names. So they have names for every single thing. I mean, I don't know how they come up with all these names, yeah, but they do. They probably look through the A to Z names on a dictionary or something. You know, it's really fun. And oh, Robin here has already saw the thing here. Cool. Thanks, Robin, for doing that. And oh, you want to see where it's blocked the articulated screen? Okay, let me show you now, because it does, depending on what sort of thing you do. Okay, let me switch off my wireless while it's waiting my battery. So, okay, let me take out my transmitters, and so it's just easier to move around. Okay, let me just detach it. Okay, right, let me just also unplug the HDMI cable. So this is the L bracket attached to the EM1 Mark III. So you have similar size body like the EM1 Mark II, well, basically the same thing. And so this is the screen here. That's what you worry about, the actual obstruction of it. Because it's fully adjustable, you can tilt, you can move the bracket forward a little bit to allow space to rotate the screen. So it doesn't quite block it. It does obstruct the view a little bit if you like, tilt it forward. You can still see majority of the screen, but it does block a little bit here. And but at the same time, even though it blocks it, it does protect the port if you do use the HDMI cable, like I did earlier with the transmitter. Similarly, if you have a screen attached to the EM1 Mark III, it's good to have something to protect the actual HDMI port, because it's very easy to snap. And don't forget that you are using a mini HDMI cable, so they are very fragile. So having some sort of protection is actually a good thing. So I don't mind that. And also, you can actually move, I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring it a bit closer. You can see that there's a big gap here. You can actually adjust this to bring it closer to the camera. And I didn't do that because of the strap lock here. I don't know if you can see that, the strap lock from the EM1 Mark III. I haven't detached the little triangle here. And if I done it, probably I can move it just about maybe 4 to 5 millimeters closer. So it will make it a little bit slimmer, and that's for sure. That means it won't block as much, but it's okay. You can see that it doesn't block it at all. It's all fine, and I find that it's okay. But you can't rotate the thing though. Like if you normally when you do filming, you can't you rotate it. You can see exactly what's going on. Like when you just kind of look down to the camera, but it does block it, so you can't do anything here at all. But once again, people who use L brackets are not filmmakers. People who use L brackets are usually photographers, because you can like put it on a tripod like this, quickly do a 90-degree swap. That is very straightforward. And I have this because I am testing a lens at the moment, so I need to have an L brackets on so I can take some shots in both orientation without having to rotate the actual ball head of the tripod. So it's a lot easier, and then that's why L brackets exist, is for that particular reason. It's just easy to do this, very straightforward, no problem. Okay, cool. And Trevor, you have something, and can you rotate and tilt the screen viewing from the back? Oh, I think I just answered you. Yep, unfortunately you can't. You can only do that. You can't rotate because it's obviously being blocked by the actual bracket itself. You can't even do that either, even though there's a little gap here. It's just not wide enough for you to you know, do a rotation here. So you can either do this facing the eye level, or you can just go back here if you're doing selfie. So this is the only downside of using a L bracket. But like I said, it is what it is. But if you don't like it, you can always take it off. There's 2 screws here, and you can take the whole vertical side off and just use the base plate because it's ACA compatible. So you can use any ACA compatible head. So it's actually pretty okay. So you don't have to worry about it. It's a double act basically. You can use it for multi-purposes. I think it's a very good, decent design. It does come with a little pouch though. It does come with this, and also a tool, which I think is a pretty nice tool as well. So this does come with this, and it gives you you know, enough adjustments here on the fly. You can adjust all the screws, so you can adjust on the fly if you want to swap to a different cameras or something. Usually you won't, but you have the options. So there you go. So these are all the stuff that I want to show you, even though this is like an add-on. I kind of forgot to mention it previously. I do have this thing for a while, and I only use it for photography because I do more streaming these days. That's why I don't use the L bracket, but they are quite cool. I think they're quite cool, and I think I might show you some more products in the future about this 3-legged thing, because I do have a few of their items, and maybe I will be able to show you guys. So cool stuff, and thank you very much for joining me, and hope you guys enjoy my Tech Wednesday today. And I know I show you actually way more than I should, because otherwise I'm going to start to run out of stuff to talk about in the next few weeks. So I have to stay tuned for other stuff, and I will be able to show you other maybe a little bit gadgets, and you will be able to find useful for your filmmaking or just general day-to-day stuff. Because I'm also a geek as well sometimes, and I like to you know, buy some gadgets, things, you know, like most guys, some girls do. Right, thank you very much for joining me, and then tomorrow is going to be Olympus Thursday. Yay! So you guys, Olympus, you can come back for more Olympus stuff. I'm going to talk about something very interesting. And today in my YouTube, later on this afternoon, 3 p.m. BST, I'm going to talk about your dream Olympus camera. Yeah, past, present, and future. And it's going to be an interesting talk. Hopefully you all have time to join me and talk about something that might get your heart pumping a little bit, you know, excited about what we may be able to see in the future. Shall we do that? Okay, I will see you guys next tomorrow for other talk in the morning, and also if you are, you know, have time, and join me this afternoon for my YouTube talk. That'll be fun, and I'll see you all later on. Oh, Theo, oh, thank you very much. And I'm Olympus, guys, so I'll be back for tomorrow. Cool stuff. And thank you, Burana, and see you again this evening. Yeah, so you join me later this afternoon. That's cool. Thank you, Burana. And I saw a few people already waiting in my YouTube page, so that'll be cool. I know there's going to be a little bit busy. So I think that my live stream is going pretty well, and all thanks to, you know, to all of you. The support that I receive is phenomenal, and I know it's been a very difficult time for me, especially creativity-wise. This lockdown means that I can't really go out and shoot that much, and I was, you know, personally, I went through a really bad time, you know, just kind of like struggling creativity-wise, motivations and things like that, and I just don't have much energy, you know, especially I have the kids that are at home full-time. It just kind of have a big impact on my works schedule, my daily schedule, because usually I would like to sit down for like a solid few hours to just work, but now I can't because the kids are home, and I just get broken minutes or hours to do things, and it's really challenging for my work. So that's why my YouTube just not really producing as much video as possible. But this live stream suddenly came in and really revived myself. You know, I really enjoyed it, and also interacting with all of you live is just amazing experience, and seeing like all of you guys talking back to me, you know, it's just so cool. It's just like talking to friends. I just really enjoy this process. It's becoming quite a successful sector that I somehow accidentally discovered. And so thank you, because without you guys, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. So I want to continue building this community. Hopefully that we all become really good friends one day, even like not just virtually, but in reality. I will be able to meet you, you know, in London, in your area, in your city, in your country. That will be absolutely awesome. So I'm looking forward to that day, and I'm pretty sure if everything goes well, that opportunity will come, and I will be able to visit everybody and maybe do photo walls, whether it's going to be trade shows, you know, because I was supposed to be in the photography show this year and to do 3 talks, but unfortunately, photography show, it was cancelled, so I won't be able to there. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys were actually heading that way, so I will be able to actually meet you there. But it is what it is. This year is going to be a little bit different, but hopefully next year, everything will be back to normal, and I will be able to see you guys personally. Right, okay, I'll see you all later on today, and also tomorrow, if you're not able to join me later on. So I'll see you all. Cool. Oh, you won't let me come into your country, Raul said. I welcome you, seriously, I welcome you both hands. Like you said, it's our government, unfortunately. But like, I just really hope that this travel restriction will be gone completely very, very soon. So you come to me or I come to you. I just really want to meet, Ralph. You're a really nice gentleman, and thank you for your support, on the daily basis. It's just really, really cool there. So thank you again. And like I said, I don't want to waste a lot of your time in the morning. And please enjoy yourself, enjoy your day. Happy shooting. I got some truly exciting stuff coming, and I really cannot say. And so until the embargo lifts, you just have to stay tuned. I'm excited because I got it yesterday. Right, okay. I'll see you guys later. I don't want to talk something wrong, and people might just got the wrong impression. And no, I definitely will not say anymore now. I might say the wrong thing very soon. Okay, see you guys later, and have fun. Bye for now.